Today we have Donnie Preston with us from the Potomac River Test Range. He's going to share a little bit about his story and how he started working for the Navy and here at Dahlgren.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here.
You're welcome. So when you first heard about Dahlgren, how did you first hear about coming here and working here?
Well, let's go back just a little ways.
Okay.
When I was young, I was a teenager. I had many friends that worked here, of course. They used to bring me over here to shoot skeet. And then I ended up here with my father's roofing company in 1980, re-roofing all the houses in the base. And I was like, this would be a cool place to work because you see people doing a lot of stuff and they're steady shooting, while we're working all summer. And I was like, this is pretty neat. But anyway, that's sort of how I got started coming over here. Then I went in the military. Once I got out of the military, there was a pretty big hiring freeze in the government for quite a while. 96, I ended up finally getting to Dahlgren through another contractor where I worked remodeling the houses over here. And then I picked up a job through a government contractor after that and ended up over on the gun line. So my background before I came to Dahlgren, some construction work, but mostly my background for here was in artillery and ordnance. I was also went to 2 nuclear schools where I have assembled nuclear weapons in Germany. So it was a big deal back then. It was Cold War, so we just had to maintain our nuclear rounds over there and stuff. And all the ordnance stuff really kind of fit in here when I got here. They're shooting guns. I had to learn different guns. Navy guns are different than Army guns. They're all computer controlled, and I had to go to schools, and I'm like, what's this? But you learn, they send me to all kinds of places to learn.
What excites you on a day-to-day basis? Like what happens in your day-to-day with your job?
Getting going in the mornings at range control is a little busy. The first 2 or 3 hours, everybody's trying to get out to do their testing. They're closing up. They're calling in. We're calling security. We're calling the Navy Yard, telling them what roads are closed, and it's busy. It's exciting to get past that part when you get to work, but it's just exciting anyway. We're testing new weapon systems or new ammunition or whatever. You're always helping the warfighter. That's the exciting part, especially coming from a military background. You're very lucky as a civilian to come back here and be able to actually help the troops as a civilian. That's my drive, really. It really is. And a lot of people's drive, but that's my drive.
What is something about Dahlgren that most people don't know that is the appeal to come work here?
When you finally land here and you realize how good most of the people are here, really, really some good folks. They turn out to be your family after years. They're your work family, but you learn from them. I came here I did not finish college. And over the last 26 years I've been here, I've learned probably as much as I would have getting a degree because I've been around people that have them, and that's all I work with. It's really been nice. You learn a lot. It's very rewarding. It really is. There's a lot of room to grow here. It's here for you.
Can you talk a little bit about the culture here at Dahlgren? Like you said, it's very family oriented and feels like
it is. The culture here at Dahlgren is very diverse. First of all, it's just wonderful. There's just a mix of everybody here working together, do all the races, cultures, different countries we work. It's interesting because there's so many people you meet, and then we get outside entities coming to visit, like, foreign nationals and stuff that we have to escort. It never ends, the different things that are going on here. There's always something different, a different tour, a different bunch of people coming in, or a different weapon system you hear about, and here it comes, we get to test this, and it's just exciting. That's the thing that I like about working here. It's not a job that's repetitious. You don't come here and do the same thing every day. Most time, not ever. Every day is different. That's what I like about it.
If you had a most memorable moment here at Dahlgren in your career so far, can you kind of go into that a little bit?
Well, sure. I've been really privileged because I've been the government rep on foreign weapons before, where I had to go to France and proof these weapons and bring them back. And I was just back and forth all the time doing that. It's exciting, to be at that position, to be able to do that and trusted, to just go by yourself to France or with a small group of people and just test stuff and bring it back, and then the United States is going to buy it. And that's pretty cool. That's one of my highlights.
You mentioned it's a rewarding feeling working here. Can you go into that a little bit and how protecting our sailors and other armed force
Oh,
areas?
absolutely. Especially developing weapons or testing weapons that are being developed. You know, you're giving it an honest effort to test that weapon. You're not changing your testing to make the weapon work. You're testing it like you're supposed to, and it's a good product or not. But if we do accept it and it goes into production, we know we've gave it our very best to put that weapon in somebody's hands that can use it to save lives from our guys. You know, I never look at it like the destructive side of it. I look at it like if we have to be where we are in theater somewhere, we need what we need to do our job. Now, that's the way I look at it. And it's just rewarding to know that a lot of this stuff just ships straight, say Afghanistan or wherever we are. It's just, we ship it straight over there. You know, so it's not going through some kind of production or whatever. Some of the stuff we test goes right to Dover, straight on the plane. You know, so it's pretty cool. It's rewarding.
Your current career, was that like as a younger man or a little boy? Is that where you thought you were going to land? Like what did you have in mind when you were a kid?
Well, let's go back to 5 or 6. My career choice then was to be a trash man, sanitation guy, because I liked those guys. You know, my mom used to make cookies for them and stuff, and we'd carry them out to the trash guys. So I was like, man, it's the best job in the world. They get to ride on the back of a truck and people bring them cookies. Of course, as I got a little older, that changed. Once I got into the military, especially, it became then weapons, you know, and it's not weapons of to be destructive, it's weapons just to be creative. You know, how they worked, how they functioned, all the mechanical parts on them, just amazing. The inventions, you know, with all parts that move. If anybody has any interest in mechanical engineering or anything, it's just wild. It's just pretty cool how all that works. And then you learn about all the powder and all the fuses and, you know, everything that makes all that work. That's what's been nice here, getting in the ordnance field. Yeah, that's when I really got excited in the Army. The artillery world, it just intrigued me because being able to take an object like a howitzer and do the calculations on it with the powder, the weight of the projectile, and the fuse timing to put something on a spot within 10 feet, 20 miles away. It's just crazy, you know, to me, just to figure out all that. So when you finally learn how to do that and learn that stuff, like in the military, it was just the mathematics part of it and stuff was just cool. The guys that are actually working on the gun, like I was back then, we're just young guys that don't know anything about anything, but we know how to shoot that gun. You know what I mean? We know how to put a round down there where we need to put it. We might not know much about the rest of the world, but you're good at what you do. And it makes you proud of what you do.
With what you can share, obviously, I know that we have a lot of people who weigh in around the Dahlgren area about the booms they hear. Can you kind of go into the excitement with that and how that is something that is the sound of freedom for us and how it's important for us to do this?
Yes, it's important, not just for us, but for the country. And the part that a lot of people don't understand is, you know, the testing that goes on here is mandated by the Department of Defense. So the stuff that we are testing here is not, we're testing it here to cause collateral damage or problems. It's where they're going to test that item here. I think we do well dealing with the public. You know, we definitely don't want to have them upset. Some people do get upset about the noise, but there's times you have to just realize that, you know, it's for the country's benefit. It's not just because we want to make noise.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Do you have anybody who's really made a huge difference in your life, either here at Dahlgren or motivated you from a personal standpoint that's kind of driven you in your career?
Yeah, a couple people, really. My first real mentor coming over here, and when I landed on the government side of Dahlgren, was a guy named Gene Bowie. and he was like a stepdad to me off base. And landing over here where he actually worked, he's the guy that brought me skeet shooting in 1976. To actually land here after going in the military and stuff, that was pretty amazing. That really was pretty cool. I know he was proud of me, for making it here. He might not tell you, but I know he was, because I worked with him a lot over here after I got hired. And I kind of crawled up to the area where he was, as far as, crawling, meaning learning, and actually working side by side with him after a while and stuff. And that was something to be said, because I didn't know him my whole life. And it was really cool.
In terms of the next 5 years, what are your next goals here, Donnie?
Here, I will retire soon. I do plan to come back part-time to help out.
What makes you want to come back and want to be here part-time, even after retiring?
The reason I want to come back part-time after I retire is I still enjoy it. I still have a lot to offer, I think, in my field, my area where I work. It probably would help anyways, kind of let you down off your career a little slower instead of a cold turkey. Yeah, I've been coming here a long time, so that's going to be a little different not coming in the gate. Because I will tell you, from the first time I ever had a government ID, I've never shown my badge where I didn't appreciate coming through that gate. Not one day. That's the truth. If you're fortunate enough to find yourself in a position to land a job here, at least in my case, you're just so fortunately lucky, and when you do get here, you realize that the people here care. They just care about the product, they care about you, they care about your career, and it's just nice, all the way around. It's just really pleasant. Every job has its ins and outs, but overall, working here has just been just a total blessing. I mean, really blessing. I'm just very fortunate.